It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interview. Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Sproles, answer, yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on in to another edition of the Full Court Press. 5 o'clock hour underway. Love to hear from you. Hopefully, you've got some fun plans this weekend. Maybe you're heading out to watch some high school football. And if you are, travel safe. We got 2 teams in the area that are home. Most everybody else is on the road. Skyview and Ridgeline are home tonight. And everybody else, points in between, heading south, all heading south, some further than others. But details on how to follow along on all those games available on CashValleyDaily.com. So excited to kick off the high school football season tonight among our family of radio stations and online on CashValleyDaily.com. So we'll be trying to provide updates of other games through the course of these broadcasts. But if you miss them or want to go back and watch them later, they'll be archived and available for you whenever it's convenient for you on CashValleyDaily.com, with the exception, unfortunately, of Bear River. There have been numerous complications, unfortunately, that we've tried to overcome and work through, but certain administrators have made that near impossible for us to do. We've tried various different ways to address it, but in the end, it's just not going to be possible for us to get the Bear River game on the air.
Eric was like a hostage negotiator trying to get this stuff done. I mean, he was offering everything. We had the chopper fueled up and ready to go to an undisclosed location, but they just would not barge.
Well, and a lot of credit goes to Jason Walker as well, who did most of the back and forth, and then he'd come to me with, what do we do next? And so needless to say, we tried a variety of different ways, but it's unfortunately that game is not going to be happening tonight. But all the other teams that we normally follow will be. The one exception is Westfield, who we are not going to regularly feature on a local station or broadcast. Just they're down in Weber County. They're outside our normal broadcast area. But all the others in Region 11, we will. So go check it out. Even Mountain Crest at Hurricane. We've got a team that's going to be helping us out with that broadcast this evening. But also football tomorrow, Utah State football. They've got their fall scrimmage, their family fun day or blue-white scrimmage, whatever you want to call it. This is a lot of other festivities will be taking place on Saturday. Scrimmage last Saturday, it did feature some things, but Coach Dreiling, so when we were watching it, we're like, well, some of these players are missing. Are they hurt? There's a lot of guys that are out that we'd normally see. And later he told us, yeah, we held some guys out, not because they were hurt, but because we wanted to get a look at some of these younger guys. Some guys are proven. We know what they can do. We don't need them to come back out there. I imagine Friday we'll see more of these experienced players. I don't know that they'll necessarily go a full scrimmage or not, but it will be a little bit more of a showcase for the fans. And there'll be opportunities to have some fun while you're there, bounce houses, concessions, and opportunities to go down and get autographs from the players afterwards, which is always a really fun thing to do if you've got kids that watch football and get down there and see these players in person. And when you're that close to them, you're like, my gosh, that is a large human being.
Yes, it is. When we actually moved to Cache Valley 3 years ago, we were trying to lug a giant gun safe into our place, and 4 members of the Utah State team lived across the street from us. They just came out, and all of a sudden it was the gun show. And they just picked up that safe, the 4 of them, like it was nothing, and it was loaded. And so great kids up there, great student athletes, and I'm going up there to just get the vibe. I want to see how the team interacts and plays with each other and feeling, hopefully, those nerves and getting ready to jump into the season are getting there.
Yeah, so the question is, before we get into our thoughts, our opinions, is the question really is to you. And we kind of discussed this last time the Aggies had a scrimmage, but is there anything notable that you hope to take away from the scrimmage on Saturday? Are there particular players you're watching, how things operate with this team, play calls in certain situations, second unit, third unit? So I'd love to get your thoughts about the Utah State football scrimmage tomorrow, and what's going to be on top of your mind when you're going to participate in that and go observe it. 435-339-0321. Gates open at 11, and the football starts at noon. So there's plenty of time to get there, mill around, have some fun with what's going on, to find a comfortable spot and sit back and relax and enjoy some football. So for me, JD, I talked about this before, and it was kind of hard to truly judge because, as noted, Coach Dreiling had some guys that he held out. I'm still going to be focusing a little bit more on the defense than the offense. Last week, the offense appeared to be way ahead of the defense. They were able to move down the field, get into the end zone. Defense, not to say that they were Swiss cheese and didn't put up any kind of a fight, because they did, but offense pretty much had its way earlier in the scrimmage. As the scrimmage went on, the defense got better. They were forcing field goals and keeping them out of the end zone, and eventually picked off a pass late in the scrimmage. So the defense seemed to be settling in and doing better as the scrimmage went on. So I want to see how that translates this Saturday. Does that momentum continue, or does it reset and have to rebuild again over the course of the scrimmage? That's one of the things that is going to be most interesting to me, because offensively, I think we know who the stars and the talent, who those guys are. There's talent and experience all over the place on offense. Not to say that there isn't talent and experience on defense. It's just, how are they utilized? How are they grouped? How do they attack what this high-powered offense can do for Utah State? So that's what I'm going to be kind of watching for, is what does the defense look like, particularly the linebackers, where there's a lot of question there. How do they mess up passing lanes? Do they gobble up the running game? Do they make it hard for Faison or Briggs to get going? So those are that defensive front, the linebackers and that defensive line. How well do they perform on Saturday?
I think I'm hoping that the defense just seasons itself throughout, just like a cast iron pan. You just season each time you go, and the stuff you cook and it gets better. Hopefully it's not a reset. I want to look at the body language of the team. I'm really big on seeing how a player is. If you study their body language and how they're reacting to the situation, you can learn a lot about a player. So seeing how they react to that, I know the defense isn't going full speed. They're not letting the collar loose, because you don't want to mess up your own guys. But it would be nice to see more of a dominant set from that front seven, and then let those guys on the back four fly around a little bit more and cause some chaos when the ball goes up in the air. Because if we're going to go and get that up there, those linebackers are going to have to get in coverage too, to tip passes and stuff, to make that tip drill happen, to create turnovers, hopefully this year for the positive for the Aggies. Right,
yeah. We'll get into that a little bit more later on here. But 9315 on our Full Court Press text line weighing in. The last scrimmage, was there more guys out on defense that'll play tomorrow? I didn't have a tally of who was held out based offense, defense, but based on observations and the comments from Nate Dreiling afterwards, there were more guys on defense who sat out. So, or at least some guys on defense played like a series, maybe two, and then they sat, like the more experienced guys. So it was interesting that of course, he's a defensive-minded guy, but it seemed like he was wanting to give more evaluation to some guys that I'm not going to say he was unsure about, but guys he just wanted to see more from. And so I think the guys that he felt confident in, they didn't need to suit up or stay suited up, and he just wanted to get a better feel for some of the other guys. I think tomorrow will be different. I think that he will have first team, a pretty full complement of first team guys out there for both sides to really see what he's got when they're going against each other. He sees that in practice, but this is a longer simulated situation. So my hunch is that you'll see a more full complement of players available tomorrow.
Do you think, in your opinion, when you looked at the last scrimmage, were there more of the starters or first-teamers on the offense than there were on the defense? You said there's a lot of new there. Could it be the possibility of a defensive-minded coach? He wants to put his, the youth, the younger guys, maybe the less experienced, against maybe a little bit of the experience on the offensive side to see how they respond, because it could be they're going to get in if they have to respond to a situation where somebody goes down and they get thrown into a situation. A Utah is not going to let their foot off the gas. He wants to see how they respond. So it could be him seeing, hey, who's going to step up here if the brakes are getting beat off the defense a little bit? Who's going to keep still focusing and fighting?
Yeah, I think there is some of that, and I think he has made it clear that effort means as much as skill and whatever your scheme is. And so he wants to see who's going to go out there and work hard, regardless of, are you a first team guy, second string guy, third string guy? When your name is called and the opportunity is given to you, do you take advantage of it? I think he's made that pretty clear when we've talked to them in the spring, when we talked to him right before he left on his trip and named the interim head coach, and when we talked to him again here a couple weeks ago. And he's made that pretty clear multiple times that he wants to find guys who are going to go out there and give 100% of effort. And that's more important than the particular scheme that he's putting together. Now, that sounds nice, and that makes for nice sound bites, and I think that sounds good in a locker room and in a team meeting. At the end of the day, you still need to have a scheme that's going to be successful. But as he has also made it clear, there isn't just one silver bullet scheme out there, magical, you do this scheme and it will always work. So he's willing to do different things based on the talent and the effort that he's going to get from his guys. And it may look like one scheme for one practice, then it's going to look another one because guys at these positions are more willing to get after it than other guys. So I don't know. We'll see. That's what's kind of fun about these scrimmages, is to get a flavor of what Nate Dreiling is like as a head coach.
How it's going to go, who's going to give 100% in the scrimmage to try to make a name for themselves to move up the depth chart or solidify their spot on the chart for the upcoming season.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's at noon. Certainly, Petrus, I thought he looked great in the spring. He looked solid in the scrimmage last week, had a few overthrows, nothing to be concerned about because there were like 3 of all the throws that he made. All the other throws were on point. Bryson Barnes looked pretty good. It's clear that Petrus is QB1, but Barnes looks like he can, if thrown into the mix, if he had to lead the team, he could lead the team down the field.
Nice.
But really on offense, it's more about the second team than it is the first team for me. First team, there's a lot of talent and experience all over the place. Wide receiver, tight end, running back, quarterback, offensive line. It's all over the place. But what's the second unit look like? If somebody gets hurt on the first team, is there somebody from the second unit that we can have confidence they'll step in and be serviceable, if not very good, and very little drop-off from that first team guy?
To see the next generation, the next wave that's going to come up and step when these guys graduate or move on. I love the second teamers because there's always usually somebody that sticks out that is really pushing. Call it my Rudy complex or something like that. But
yes.
their heart actually increases their talent, if that makes sense. And I feel like those are the guys Coach is going for, trying to find out there on his team. I love the defensive-minded schemes. I'm excited to see what he comes up with, how he dials up pressure. If he pressures, does he blitz? Does he go back in zone? How does he let his linebackers roam in his system? Do they play a lot of up-run coverage, or do they drop back and pass? Or are they causing the quarterback to have a really bad Saturday afternoon? So it'll be interesting to see for me for this first experience to get a little taste of what it is, and then in Robert Morris in a couple weeks to see that Aggie defense on the field.
Yeah. Last week, Spencer Petras scrambled for a first down, and that was one of my big worries. Can this guy scramble? Because he never did at Iowa. He's big, but is he mobile? And he's not as dynamic as maybe some quarterbacks you've seen who probably prefer to run than throw. He's got a big arm, but he proved that he can scramble. He's not afraid to use his legs, and he's not just going to be a statue in the pocket. He will be able to move around and create if necessary.
And if he breaks through that front seven, he's a formidable opponent on the ground against DBs. I mean, he's a big guy to take down, and he tucks his shoulder. I mean, not the throwing shoulder, hopefully. And takes one, like, he might knock a DB silly. But in the middle of a game is one of those, like, just adrenaline boosts that you get for that. But, yeah, he's got some wheels. He can move a little bit.
Right, yes. So those are some of the things that I'll be watching for on Saturday. Any others that you are going to be paying attention to? Love to hear your thoughts about the Utah State football scrimmage. And that really, the biggest questions for me are on the defense, and can they be more disruptive? It's always tricky watching a scrimmage. If something goes right, if something looks good, that means that something was bad from your same team. If somebody made a great play defensively, that means somebody screwed up on your same offense. But
it's hard for a fan because you're like, oh man.
Yeah. But you can see great individual efforts and great individual plays, and that's worth noting and getting excited about. So again, starts at 12. Gates open just a little bit after 11 there for the scrimmage on Merlin Olsen Field. Now, one of the things that Utah State's going to try to do here this season is change their luck. This is a team that, ESPN, to their credit, they went through all the metrics to determine which were the luckiest teams and, by definition, who were the most unlucky. And as you go through the numbers and through their whole detail, the luckiest team in college football was San Jose State, which seems interesting. Of course, Coach Brennan was changing the culture there, making them more relevant. Of course, he is gone now. But San Jose State was the luckiest team in college football. There's another Mountain West team in the top 10, and that was UNLV at number 9. But at the bottom of this list,
the very bottom,
where you don't want to be found, in the bottom 10, the lone Mountain West school in the bottom 10, the Utah State Aggies at 133, ranked dead last as unluckiest team.
So in the beginning of the 2023 season, ESPN had projected that Utah State would have a +7 turnover margin. They ended up with a turnover margin of -5. That 12-point swing is the largest swing by any team in the 133 teams, putting them dead last. So it goes to say, I don't think bad luck strikes 2 seasons in a row like that. The football gods don't really let the ball bounce like that. I hope, because this is kind of crazy. On top of everything else, I think you can only go up, right?
That's what you'd hope. I
mean, 132 is an improvement.
Well, you know what? Going into in the 2022 season, Blake Anderson was upset with all the turnovers, and he wanted to improve things in 2023, but then it created controversy because he had a short leash on Cooper Lega, and then it was McKay Hillstead, and then there was different. It was different quarterbacks. I mean, there's all kinds of weirdness going on there. And it was really the big thing for the Aggies going into this offseason was, we've really got to cut down on the turnovers. if the throw's not there, throw it away. Don't force it in. And that was a real driving message in the spring. And it appeared that those quarterbacks were getting that, but then those two quarterbacks left. No. And the other quarterback that we saw, he graduated. And so now you're coming in with a new crop of quarterbacks. And, can they be better with Utah State's luck and not turning things over and messing up offensive drives?
And the defense needs to step up on the other side to actually force turnovers to help counterbalance the offense. Because, look, the offense isn't going to run 100% efficient and perfect all the time. Stuff happens. My favorite interceptions are the ones that get tipped and the lineman picks it off. It's like Christmas and the Super Bowl all for that guy in the same time. But the defense going after the ball, the DBs hawking it, linemen punching at the ball to get it to try to force them. I imagine we might see some of that with a defensive-minded interim head coach.
Yeah, that's a great point, too. I mean, you got to improve your turnover margin. It's not so much about you giving the ball away, but as much about how often can you take it away. Mm-hmm. And there weren't that many takeaways last year from Utah State. Now, this year, there's more experience at the safety position. There's a lot of depth there. I like the experience and talent and skill at the cornerback position. So I think Utah State could be poised to be better about snagging some interceptions, but also they're better on the front seven in forcing some fumbles or making it difficult for teams to come after them. Because that run defense in the back half of the season was terrible. Teams knew they didn't need to throw the ball against the Aggies because they could run and get whatever they wanted. But this year, I believe it's going to be different with this new coach and this emphasis. But you're right; they've got to be able to create their own turnovers to stop drives and get the momentum going in their own favor,
and even bail out the offense. If the offense does something and a turnover happens, the best way for the defense is to get a big stop or even force that turnover to go to the offense and say, "Hey, we got it back for you. Here you go."
Yes, yeah, and you know what? His team. His team defense at New Mexico State was very notable about being opportunistic at the right time. When they could get teams in third and long in certain situations and places on the field, those teams knew how to dial it in and be clutch when they needed to. And that New Mexico State team had a pretty magical season that year, and it was due in large part because of what his defense did in the right situation, and he's trying to bring that and incorporate that into Utah State as well.
It could be huge for the defense. If the defense rises this year and sees a big bump in productiveness, it could be the key to this team surprising a few people.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And look, and the other thing that he said in media day, it was pointed out about Utah State and some of their struggles and their challenges last year. And he said, look, this is a team that knows they struggled in certain areas, particularly the run game and these takeaways and turnovers themselves. And they read the clippings. They know about it. They're on social media. They hear it in the hall at school and in the grocery store. So they're aware. They know it. They know last year was a struggle. And that doesn't bother him at all. His point, basically paraphrasing, is when guys go through things like that, they're more eager to listen to what you have to say so they don't have to go through that again. And so he was actually kind of excited about the team's ability to soak up what he's trying to teach them and respond in a better way so they can be a more responsive team in those situations and help themselves to have more luck in these turnover margins, especially.
Those are those X factors that I love about the game of football. The details and the things that a coach can bring to inspire a group of kids to improve or to get revenge on last season, so to speak, to get out there and fire up. The more I hear about the interim coach and his defensive philosophy, I'm really excited to watch the defense tomorrow up at the scrimmage.
So again, gates open around 11, and the scrimmage will start at noon. Things you want to watch for or paying attention to for the scrimmage tomorrow, the last scrimmage before the season gets underway. And the blue-white scrimmage, there'll be bounce houses, there'll be concessions, opportunities to get autographs from the players afterwards. So it's a fun atmosphere and fun opportunity to go and check out Utah State football. So encourage you to go, check it out, and then let us know what you saw and what you observed when we're back at it again on Monday. All right, we're going to take a time out here in the Full Court Press, but when we come back, some news about the Utah Hockey Club. Seems like we've been talking a lot of hockey this week.
Yeah, that's sorry, my bad.
But there's news. There are things to discuss, and that's why we got some players from the Utah Hockey Club noted as potential breakout stars, and an image for some new merchandise. Does it give us a hint for what the team name might end up being? We'll discuss next on the Full Court Press.
This is Jay with Daryl's Appliance. Hunters, gardeners, and savvy shoppers, Daryl's Appliance has the perfect freezers to stock up for the hunting season. Prepare for a recession or store your garden harvest. Save big and take advantage of our 12-month financing. That's right, 12 months to pay with no interest. Don't wait. These deals won't last long. Daryl's west on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
See Daryl's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson.
Get your cooling fixed, call Gary Riggs. Get your AC fixed, call Gary Riggs. If you're having cooling problems, we're here to get them fixed. Just pick up the phone and call Gary Riggs. 435-512-6633. We'll come to you. Our service fee is low, just $25. We repair all brands and have certified installers. Get your cooling fixed, call Gary Riggs. Get your AC fixed, call Gary Riggs.
She was there for you on your first day of school and all those special moments since. Now, Mom needs you. When Mom or someone you love needs home health or hospice, give them the care they deserve. With core values of character, experience, and trust, see why we have been voted Best of Northern Utah. Contact Aegis today, 435-723-9000, or find us on the web at myaegis.com.
Make it 4 years in a row. Advanced Heating and AC is honored to be named the gold medalist for the Best of Northern Utah in the AC HVAC category. You have many choices when it comes to your home's heating and air conditioning system. Make sure you choose the gold medal winning company, Advanced Heating and AC. Call 752-7272 or stop by their showroom west of DI. Online at advancedheating-ac.com.
Beezer Lock & Key has been providing businesses and homeowners with security for 30 years. Security is priceless, especially if it's guaranteed. No cheap locks, no bad keys, no inadequate hardware, just expertise, precision, and security. Beezer Lock & Key believes there's no place like a safe home, and no home safer than one secured by them. When you want guaranteed security and peace of mind for your home, business, or vehicle, go with the pros on the familiar corner of 4th North and 1st West in Logan. Beezer Lock & Key. Search BeezerLock.com to discover more.
Ah, the t-shirt. It's the unofficial clothing of summer. We all have a favorite t-shirt. The Logo Shop has custom screen printed over 1 million t-shirts for teams, clubs, businesses, family reunions, fundraisers, marathons, bike races. One-of-a-kind designs with creative graphics, even funny phrases. Whether you need a couple dozen or a couple thousand, the team at the Logo Shop will help with your one-of-a-kind design. From concept to creation. Order your custom t-shirts from the Logo Shop.
The Logo Shop. The Logo Stuff. The Logo Shop.
Interviews, analysis, and a little bit of fun mixed in. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Hey, if you're looking for glasses with character, go check out Crystal Vision. They'll take your current prescription and they'll fit a pair of glasses that match your style. They're on 14th North in Logan by Sportsman's Warehouse, or find them online, crystalvision.com. That's Crystal with a K. So JD is our resident hockey fan and followed the Arizona Coyotes for several years. And so very well versed in what this team is about as they have moved to Utah and are now known as the Utah Hockey Club. And before we get to any hints as to what the team mascot might look like. There's some news about some of the players on this team getting recognized as being potential breakout stars.
Yeah, I've been bouncing around different podcasts and media outlets, and Drop in the Gloves podcast had Craig Morgan on, who covered the Phoenix Coyotes for 24 years. And everybody knows about the talent this team has. Some of the names: Cooley, Doan, Michelli, Hayton. So much talent there, but there's one player he's talking about, and that's sniper Dylan Guenther. He's looking like he's going to be starting on the second line, going to be dealing with Cooley there at the center, and they're looking for him to have a big season. He's a sniper, which means he kind of hangs out there, and then when they get him the puck, quicker than the eye can register, he will snap his stick. And sometimes these pucks travel 80, 90 miles an hour to that net, and it is in the back of the net before the goaltender even knows what hit him. So Dylan Guenther getting some props. And then also from Bleacher Report, they put out their 10 NHL players who will become breakout stars in the coming up season. And they're talking about Logan Cooley, drafted 3rd overall in 2022. That's how fast these kids come up. Connor Bedard, 18 and playing in the NHL for the Blackhawks. But Cooley had a great debut, 20 goals, 44 points, 4th-a-month rookie scorers. Of course, everybody was in the Bedard hype, Brock Faber out there in the Minnesota Wild. But he looks like he is a budding superstar for this team. So the Bleacher Report calling for him to have a breakout season. And it looks like we could have several of our young, talented players start to make a name for themselves in the NHL world. And it's all because of the relocation here to Utah.
Well, and it helps when the team hasn't performed well and you get high draft picks. And there's some you get access to some exciting young talent and young players. But a lot of excitement just with the move and being around owners who seem to care and owners who seem to make it and treat you like professional athletes. Yeah. And so it's going to be exciting to see how that translates to play on the ice.
The team went from a team where other teams knew they could dump bag contracts on to just moving to Utah, and we don't know how to respond. The Coyotes fan base that's following the Utah fan club, we had no idea how to respond when they went out and got Sergachev, a 2-time Stanley Cup blue line defensive man who's the first blue liner out there, who's got the moxie. He's 25 years old and one of the stars in the NHL. And then they go make other moves. It's like, wait a minute. This is what it's like to have an owner that actually cares about the product they put on the ice. I think these young kids are going to break out. I think they're going to make a lot of noise in the NHL this year.
It's going to be interesting to see this practice facility unfold as well. That the ownership group bought an entire mall just so they could build a practice facility. But it's when I was a kid, we actually went up to, where was it? Was it Calgary or Edmonton? I think it was Edmonton. Big, massive mall up in Edmonton. Now, this was a long time ago, but there was, Gretzky was playing at the time, the great one. But in this massive mall, they had an ice rink in the middle of the mall. They had a water park in there and a few other things. It was like, this was amazing as a kid. It's like, I can't believe you can put all this stuff in one place. But they had an ice rink, and it was regulation hockey sized, and they said, occasionally the team will do practices or scrimmages on the ice. And I think they even did a game there, like an exhibition game, because there was like multiple levels and people could stand around and watch it from different places. But I don't know if any of this practice facility will be open or accessible to the public. But the fact that it's near a shopping mall or part of a shopping mall lends itself to, again, being connected to the community in different ways, which could be pretty interesting if they have opportunities to do that.
I thought it was a great move for them. I witnessed 2 franchises move to Southern Nevada, the Raiders and, of course, the Golden Knights. When they came in, of course, the Raiders built that Death Star that's down there, Allegiant Stadium.
Yes.
Their practice facility is out southwest of the town, southwest of Strip, out by an executive airport. They spent billions building that practice facility. So did the Knights. The Knights have a practice facility where fans are able to come in and check out practice, the skates before the games and all the stuff. It's very interactive. I imagine the Utah Hockey Club will do that. What I love is they bought an existing building and plan to use it. They're not looking to make this multi-billion-dollar thing. I'm sure it'll be very nice and professional inside, but I imagine it's going to be highly fan interactive. From what I've seen of the ownership, how they interact with their fans across this is going to be an amazing experience for hockey fans. And I think it'll also draw in hockey fans from around the world that don't want to go to New York City, that do not want to get shot in Chicago, that do not want to go to LA. They don't want to go to Vegas where all the casinos are. They want to go to a place that matches up with their values. And a lot of hockey is about family, country, community. I think Utah has become a beacon of hockey here locally, youth, and internationally. I think we're going to see players down the road that want to come play for the Utah Hockey Club or whatever name they may assume next year.
Yes. So let's get to that. So an image floating around that looks to be from merchandise from the Utah Hockey Club that has the current logo. It's that I don't remember what kind of. It's like a pale blue. I don't know what they call it, ice blue or whatever their fancy name is for the blue. But it says it has the Utah Hockey on it. But then below that, it looks like something is like with claws has ripped into the shirt with the other colors from their I guess you'd call it their standard color scheme that they're going with right now.
I, for the first time in my adult life, Eric, I Googled, do Yetis have claws? And apparently they do. Some people are a little, but the Utah fan community, a lot of the fan groups I'm a part of on Facebook and other social media platforms, there's a lot of discussion. Is that a claw mark? Is that kind of a nod to what's coming? There's also been some shredded like promotion stuff the NHL and other sports things have done. There is an old Arizona Coyotes image that was used as a promotion that eerily has very similar claw marks to it too. So there's a lot of like history stuff going on, a lot of rumors and guessing. We're not going to know until we know. But man, I think a big old Yeti would be great there. To have a mascot to go along with was it the Utah Jazz legendary, and I'm having a big brain fart right now. What's his name? Squatch, right?
Oh, the bear?
Oh, the bear. Yeah,
Their mascot is a bear, which has no relevance to jazz, but I guess it makes more sense for the state.
But they have like the interaction that I've seen at the games is awesome. So I imagine a Yeti on skates. I mean, we're going to have so much fun. And then a side note, the Carolina Hurricanes are putting an owl sanctuary in the top of their arena.
Oh,
so
wow.
You'll be able to see owls. I don't know how they're going to deal with what owls drop.
They make a big mess.
That's going to be a power play and a half.
Big mess.
But I thought, I commented funny on the thing. I said, man, we should have a Yeti sanctuary. Can you imagine scaring the team with all those Yetis up there? We'd have to find one first in the wild. But.
Oh, that's where they'll be hanging out. So if you remember, back in June, the Utah Hockey Club announced that voting was narrowed down to 6 potential team names, and voting was open for a couple of weeks, and it closed on June 20th. So here we are, almost 2 months later. We still don't really know, but you'd think pretty soon they should start figuring these things out, because it takes time to send stuff off to merchandising to get it distributed and produced and branded. So if you recall, the 6 names that they narrowed it down to, from 20 names down to 6, which they say were the top 6, were Utah Blizzard, Utah Hockey Club, which they're going with for now, Utah Mammoth, Utah Outlaws, Utah Venom, and Utah Yeti. So if the big scratch, like something with claws, tried to claw into this person's chest, is any indication, Utah Yeti's about the only one in that group that seems to match that. But you could be called Utah Blizzard and then have some other animal or mythical creature
snowman
with it has claws.
Yukon Cornelius could be the guy out there.
That's right.
It's interesting to see. I think what we could expect as a fan, and this is my guess in the dark, is that sometime later in the season, hopefully we clinch a playoff or something. There is going to be a strategic release by the Utah Hockey Club and the NHL at a time where maybe there's not hockey news and they can create a buzz around it to hit it. Maybe it's when we qualify for the playoffs. Maybe it quite possibly could be at the draft next year, something that we're far off in the future. But they're going to make a big deal of it. It's going to be a big deal. We'll definitely know about it. It'll be plastered everywhere.
I'm sure they will. Keeping it under wraps will be interesting how well they do that, because the Utah Jazz color scheme redesign was not handled very well. The blue and yellow got leaked, and everybody hated it when they saw it, and it was like months before Ryan Smith admitted that this was going to be the new color scheme.
Oh, man.
And what they were going with, and it did not go over well, so hopefully they've learned some lessons from that. He says he was trying to learn from that, but we'll see.
I mean, if it comes out and it's not a name on that list, I mean, it might be interesting.
Yes. So if the merchandise gives you any indication of the direction they may be going, could be the Utah Yetis.
Yeah, and the merchandise that says Utah Hockey Club, it's this opening season. It's going to be the stuff that in 10, 15, 20 years you're going to want to have down the road for the hockey club, because they're going to completely change. This logo will go away. It really reminds me of like what a soccer club logo would be.
Yes.
And so it's a nice kind of standing place. It's just a placeholder for right now. But that gear, it's out there everywhere right now, but it's not. As soon as they change, that gear is going to go away. And maybe the jerseys will come out as a retro or something like that. But
as an alternate or something.
This is going to be a 1-year kind of thing.
So there you go. Would you be okay with that as the future name of the hockey team here in the state of Utah? By the way, 9315, kind of pivoting us back to the discussion about football, saying, I'm just going to read this and we'll try to interpret the best we can.
Okay.
I want to that there is no scouts for appointment on this year's football schedule for USU and no drone when I visit the scrimmage on Saturday. So I think what 9315 is trying to say is kind of, with some crying emoji on there. I think what, the Michigan scouting scandal from last year, the Canadian soccer team flying a drone in the Olympics and they got into trouble. So yeah, hopefully no shenanigans going on as you go to enjoy a Utah State football scrimmage.
I think that's the last thing anybody in the program wants, from the bottom to the top, is any kind of shenanigans or anything like that. I think we're going to see a straight ship hopefully run for the season.
And I mean, this isn't a team that's vying for a national championship, and teams are like trying to get their secrets. So I really wouldn't worry about that. But still, nonetheless, there is, I think, tongue in cheek here what 9315 is pointing out. There's been some scandals in the not too recent past here about teams trying to get an edge on others in unscrupulous ways. So,
Jimmy Harbaugh, man, let me tell you what, I could talk about him for days.
Right. Well, we're going to take a time out here in the Full Court Press. When we come back, interesting list about the most valuable teams in professional sports, and who are they, and just how much are they worth? We'll discuss next on the Full Court Press.
This is Brent Wallace with Cache Valley Bank, and we understand that concerns about fraud can weigh heavily on you. Your peace of mind is important to us. That's why we're committed to looking out for you and your family. Our team keeps a vigilant eye on your account, and if you ever have concerns or need support, we're just a call or visit away. Whether you need advice or just someone to talk to, our friendly staff is ready to help. We're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors, and we care about your security. Visit your local branch today. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Discount Tire.
So much more than a tire store.
It's finally summer, and with the sun comes a lot of fun. Save now on all RV, ATV, and boat trailer tires going on at Discount Tire's 48th anniversary sale. Any tire purchase also enters you to win one of their weekly prizes valued at over $2,500. You heard right, over $2,500 in prizes are up for the taking. Get the lowest tire prices anywhere, guaranteed, in-store or online. Low on cash? No problem. Utilize 12 months no-interest financing, no credit check financing, or layaway. Don't let summer or Discount Tire's 48th anniversary sale pass you by. Make your tire and service reservations online anytime at webtires.net or stop by Discount Tire, 885 North Main in Logan, 110 South Highway 165 in Providence, and 728 South Main in Smithfield.
Discount Tire.
So much more than a tire store.
We've got a reason to celebrate. Actually, we've got 99 reasons to celebrate because Murdoch Volkswagen has been proud to serve Utah's automotive needs for 99 years. We're here to celebrate and say thank you to everyone who helped us get here. And there's more to come, like Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event. Right now, receive 0.9% for 5 years on an Atlas or Crossport, or up to $3,500 in customer bonus cash. When you walk through our doors, you feel like family at Murdoch Volkswagen in Logan or online at murdochvw.com.
Call 888-391-6083 or see dealer for complete details. Offer expires 9/3/24.
Does your dryer take longer to dry your clothes? It might be time to clean your dryer vent. Having a clean dryer vent shortens your drying time, increases the lifespan of your dryer, and decreases your risk of a house fire. Call a Logan-based business, The Duct Hunter, at 435-770-4813 for a quote and to schedule an appointment.
We are the Duct Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home. We are the Duct Hunter.
Summer is cruising by way too fast. It's already back to school time. Soon you're going to start experiencing many special places and events that you won't forget, such as your first slide down Old Main Hill, attending Aggie football and basketball games, or a wild party at the How, and your first kiss on the Aggie Bowl. That might just lead to that extra special moment at Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Cache Valley's engagement ring store, where it's all about the romance. Just look for the bright green cars at 930 North Main Street.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. Life is good. Life at My Mattress is good too. Why might I say that? Because today is a good day to slay a Goliath. The other day I went into a mattress store here in Logan that has 2,500 stores across the country. I'd say that's a Goliath. We were 20% less expensive on every bed that we both offer. We may not have 2,500 stores, but we are number one in Cache Valley. Better product and better prices. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally? Only at My Mattress.
It's the Full Court Press, weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, JD Walker. Jason Walker, he's making his way to Hillcrest High School to call play-by-play for the Logan Grizzlies tonight. And a lot of high schools are going to be covered on local radio and CacheValleyDaily.com. You can watch the games online. You can listen on local radio as high school football underway tonight for Region 11 teams. Before we talk about most valuable teams based on some recent results that are out, 5338 weighing in on our Full Court Press text line. Yeti is awful. If the hockey team name turns out to be Yeti, I'll wear my Penguins gear to the games.
I mean, I get that, but it's one of those names that's probably not going to fit for everybody. But when you have think about the names and the matchups we're going to have. The Yeti versus the Kraken, the Yeti versus the Knights, the Yetis versus the Kings or the Sharks. It sounds good, and it's the fan favorite right now. But it could be one of those things. Maybe it'll grow on you. But the Pittsburgh Penguins, a legacy organization, they've had some of the greatest centers in the history of the game. So not a bad jersey to put on.
Yeah, I don't hate the Yeti. I know there's been some strong opinions on that name. I don't see the hate for it. Sorry, 5338. I guess I just don't share your vitriol there, but it is divisive for some.
I mean, Eric, if you've had a negative experience with a Yeti, you may not be on board with this.
Maybe that's what happened there. But if you want to weigh in, 435-339-JD 0321. Some merchandise from Utah Hockey Club, a T-shirt seems to indicate there's like claw marks across it, and is that foreshadowing of a team name that is to come? Now there could be the team name could be any of these others, and the mascot is something different. Because what's your mascot if you're the Blizzard?
That's true.
It'd be like I don't know, swirling snowstorm? I mean, how do you do that?
I mean, the Golden Knights have a dinosaur as a mascot. So, I mean, the mascot could be totally off. We could be the Yetis and, like, have a grasshopper as a mascot.
Who
Just
knows?
something out there.
Who knows? But interesting list put together here about the world's most valuable sports teams. And it's interesting to look at these teams and how much they're valued versus their on-field or on-court success. And the number one team doesn't surprise me. This is a team that's routinely been at the top of Forbes' list for many years. What does surprise me is that it eclipses the $10 billion mark for the first time.
But have they been relevant in the since Tony Romo fumbled the ball?
Yeah, that's the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Valued at $10.32 billion.
That's just mind-blowing to me.
That's great facility, and it's used for a lot of events. Everybody talks about the Dallas Cowboys, which drives me nuts because they don't deserve all the discussion and all the talk. But people love their gear. There are diehard fans all over the country who love the Cowboys, even though they have not been a relevant franchise for 30 years?
Yeah, since guys like Emmett and Troy were back there. I mean, it seems like America's team is living in that heritage. But the stadium's beautiful, Jerry's World. They do a lot of stuff there. A lot of high school football games take place there. You know, big in Texas, but $10 billion for the Cowboys. I'm not writing that check.
That's bonkers. Number two, this is surprising to me. We have an NBA franchise, and it does surprise me the team that's number two on this list. I would have thought Los Angeles Lakers,
Boston.
maybe the Boston Celtics. Neither of those are in the top five. It's the Golden State Warriors. And this is a team that has shot up the valuations mostly because of their on-court success. This is a team that does have championships under their belt and some of the most marketable players on the court and off with the endorsements. So the Golden State Warriors at $8.28 billion.
I think they're actually really impressive on this list when you think about their recent success, and that really Golden State isn't. I mean, they're in the Bay Area, but you're not really thinking of Golden State as a powerful team. They don't have that history. But to see that recent jump in evaluation to $8 billion, man, the Steph Curry effect is real.
Yeah, well, I think moving to San Francisco from Oakland helped. And, of course, winning a bunch of championships, that helps.
Moving out of Oakland to anywhere helps.
Yeah, that's pretty true. New York, the highest-rated Major League Baseball team on this list at just under $8 billion. Again, historic team. They have a lot of championships on their trophy case. This is another team that hasn't been relevant for a while, but they're in New York and the most marketable team in Major League Baseball, and valued at just under $8 billion.
I believe that the Yankees gear outsells toilet paper in the greater New York area. They've got that legacy. When you think of baseball royalty, there's one of those teams you put there, whether you like them or you don't. They have that legacy. They're in New York, and you look at some of the places on this list, you realize that square footage wise, for land, they are the most expensive places in the world, some places to do. But New York, just one of those iconic $8 billion for the Yankees' evil empire.
Yes. And then to round out the top five, two other NFL franchises. One, a team that has greatly benefited from relocating from where they were before, and that's the Rams, a team that bounced around for a while. They were in St. Louis, and they were in Los Angeles. They went back to St. Louis, and now they're back in Los Angeles. Beautiful new stadium that they're in with SoFi, and $7.79 billion, not too far behind the Yankees. And then the New York Giants running out the top five at just over $7.5 billion. So unsurprising that three of the top five teams, the highest valuations in professional sports. are from the NFL. In the world, no less. Not just in America, but in the world.
Yeah, it's an impressive list and just shows how much sports is a part of our culture and our economy in the world. It just blows me away, but gave me an idea. I think, Eric, let's start a GoFundMe. We'll all pitch in a little bit and try to buy a franchise in 100, 200 years. By then the Cowboys will be worth $100 billion or something.
I just need a sliver. I don't need to be the majority owner. I just need a sliver of this, and then let it grow in valuation, and then I'll spin it out.
I think we just need a suite, right? Just to be able to watch the games and some of that buffet food that they
Is that too much to ask?
No, I don't think so.
All right, we got to take another time out here in the Full Court Press. When we come back, just an interesting quick story about a basketball card that could be worth a ton of money, and JD, you could get one.
Yep, a possibility.
We'll discuss next on the Full Court Press.
Imagine your wedding day. Elegant, simple, yet stunning, stress-free. It's your day. It's all about you. Whether you're looking for small and simple or have a grander idea, the Riverwoods Conference Center will accommodate your every need. Choose the inside ballroom elegance or outside along the natural decor of the beautiful Logan River. A Riverwoods event planner will work personally with you to make sure your event is exactly how you've envisioned it. The Riverwoods Conference Center, where your happily ever after begins. Google Riverwoods Conference Center or call 750-5151.
When grid failures and severe weather cause power outages, your business might take a hit, or at home, you could lose your refrigerated food storage. Generac Standby Power Solutions help ensure an uninterrupted power supply. Generac is the #1 brand of standby generators. Get yours today from Golden Spike Electric, your trusted source for safety and security. Golden Spike Electric, powering your peace of mind. Online at gscgenerators.com or call 257-3016. They also service other models.
Les Olson IT is your source for top quality technology. We carry the latest desktop and laptop PCs in stock, configured to your specific needs, and backed by our award-winning support team. And if your business demands high-performance hardware, we offer custom-built computers that can tackle any task. We also offer great computer accessories like monitors, keyboards, speakers, Fujitsu document scanners, and more. Get a quote today.
Les Olson IT.
Breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews. It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Well, today it's actually JD Walker hanging out. Look, interesting. We're talking about professional sports, and there's a trading card that is being issued that could be super valuable, and it's has kind of connected to the Olympics.
Yeah, it's Team USA, the basketball team. It's the first time LeBron, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry have been focused on a card autographed by all three of them, and it's a one-of-one. There is a current bounty out from Golden Auctions for $250,000. There are several other people in. Estimates have gone that it could go up to $750,000. It's the first time they're featured on the card. Before it was announced it was out, I watched the Olympics, was a big fan of the U.S. soccer team and the men's basketball team, so bought a couple of the cards just to kind of commemorate it. I'm a sports cards collector. And then they announced the next day, hey, one lucky person is going to get this autograph, so it could be coming my way, fingers crossed, but most likely I'll just get the regular card and be happy with that. But
it could be your golden ticket to get into some professional team ownership right there.
Absolutely, yes. $750,000 will get me a parking lot space somewhere.
But that's very cool. So you had to pre-order it?
Yeah, it's through Topps Now. They do like a digital print. For Topps Now, the biggest rookie they ever sold, the biggest card was 120,000 copies of Wembanyama's rookie last year. The LeBron, Curry, and Durant went for 600,000 print run. Ooh. So it's their largest print run ever. It's like a 1 in 600,000 chance to pull that. That wasn't my initial reaction. I just wanted it for the collection and stuff. But somebody out there,
somebody's got to get it.
Yeah, somebody's going to get it. It's change your life money.
Might not be. Well, might as well be you.
Absolutely, yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate all the interaction on the text club. Go check out Utah State football tomorrow. There's scrimmage at noon on Merlin Olsen Field. Of course, we got a lot of high school football tonight, and that'll be coming up in about an hour from now here on The Fan with the Skyview Bobcats, but a lot of others in action as well. Full details on CashValleyDaily.com. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.
Sports Talk Radio, KLGN Logan, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, and online at 1069thefan.com.